Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anubha Rohatgi and with me is Prashant Kumar Sinha with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges people to give priority to local products while shopping during this festive season. In his Mann Ki Baat, Prime Minister calls upon youth to bring in innovations in indigenous sports. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India wants to end border tension with China peacefully, but at the same time will not let anyone take even an inch of our land. COVID-19 recovery rate improved to 90%. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet the nation on the occasion of Dussehra. And in IPL cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore face Chennai Super Kings in Dubai, while Rajasthan Royals clash with Mumbai Indians at Sharjah. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged the people of the country to give priority to local products while shopping during this festive season. Addressing the nation through his Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio this morning, Mr. Modi asked everyone to remember the resolve of vocal for local.
जब हम त्योहार की बात करते हैं, तैयारी करते हैं, तो सबसे पहले मन में यही आता है कि बाजार कब जाना है, क्या-क्या खरीदारी करनी है। खासकर बच्चों में तो इसका विशेष उत्साह रहता है कि इस बार त्योहार पर नया क्या मिलने वाला है। त्योहारों की ये उमंग और बाजार की चमक एक दूसरे से जुड़ी हुई है, लेकिन इस बार जब आप खरीदारी करने जाएं तो वोकल फॉर लोकल का अपना संकल्प अवश्य याद रखें। बाजार से सामान खरीदते समय हमें स्थानीय उत्पादों को प्राथमिकता देनी है।
He said the whole world is becoming a fan of Indian products. He stressed that many local products have the potential of becoming global and gave the example of Khadi.
साथियों, दिल्ली के कनॉट प्लेस के खादी स्टोर में इस बार गांधी जयंती पर एक ही दिन में 1 करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा की खरीदारी हुई। इसी तरह कोरोना के इस समय में खादी के मास्क भी बहुत पॉपुलर हो रहे हैं। देश भर में कई जगह सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स और दूसरी संस्थाएं खादी के मास्क बना रहे हैं।
Not only is the popularity of Khadi rising, it is also being produced in many parts of the world. The Prime Minister said there is a place in Mexico called Oaxaca where the local villagers weave Khadi. Today, the Khadi of this place has gained popularity around the world as Oaxaca Khadi. Mr. Modi recounted how Khadi reached Oaxaca through a young person called Mark Brown, who was deeply inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. Mark Brown visited Bapu's ashram in India and realized that Khadi was not just a fabric but a complete way of life. On his return to Mexico, he introduced the villagers of Oaxaca to Khadi and trained them. Oaxaca Khadi has become a brand now. The Prime Minister asked the people to visit the Oaxaca Khadi website and listen to the interview of Mark Brown. He expressed happiness that during Gandhi Jayanti this year, the Khadi store in Connaught Place at Delhi witnessed purchases of over 1 crore rupees in just a day. Similarly, the Khadi masks have also become very popular during Corona. He said self-help groups are making Khadi masks in many places in the country and gave the example of Suman Devi in Barabanki of Uttar Pradesh. Suman Devi, along with her friends of a self-help group, started making Khadi masks and they are now producing thousands of Khadi masks. Mr. Modi said India's local products often have a complete philosophy enshrined in them.
महामारी चल रही थी तब हमने टीवी में और अपने मोबाइल न्यूज में देखा कि प्रवासी मजदूर दिल्ली, बम्बई, कलकत्ता सब बाहर से आ रहे थे। कुछ हमारे गांव में भी बहुत आए थे। दुकानें, बाजार सब बंद थे और मास्क नहीं मिल पा रहे थे। इसलिए हम लोग समूह की बहनें ने सब मिलकर मीटिंग, लोग कपड़ा अपने यहाँ समूह के माध्यम से मंगाकर मास्क सिल के हम लोग जो प्रवासी मजदूर थे, बुजुर्ग, बच्चे और बहनों को हम लोग मास्क वितरण किए। अभी भी हम लोग मास्क देते हैं जिसके पास नहीं होता। सिर्फ निस्वार्थ हमने सेवा की और किसी की मदद करने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है।
The Prime Minister stated that many indigenous sports have attracted attention the world over, just like spirituality, yoga and Ayurveda. He highlighted that Mallakamb too is gaining popularity in many countries. He said when Chinmay Patankar and Pragya Patankar decided to teach Mallakhambh out of their home in America, they had no idea how successful it would be. Mallakhambh training centers are running at many locations across America.
Me and my team are trying to promote Indian-originated sports Mallakhambh in the US. We will continue to do that. We have kept many targets to make Mallakhambh as American youth preferred sport. We are also trying to bring American sports research methods in Indian games. But to do that, we need blessings from seniors. Honorable Prime Minister mentioned in Mann Ki Baat that will increase morale of me and my team. We will continue to do good work in the US.
A large number of American youth are joining and learning Mallakhambh. Mr. Modi said Mallakhambh is becoming popular in around 20 other countries, be it Germany, Poland or Malaysia. And now Mallakhambh World Championship has also been started, which sees participants from around the world. He asked the young generation to learn more about Mallakhambh. He said the country's youth should learn about the many forms of martial arts of the country and over the course of time bring about innovations in the same. The Prime Minister said Pulwama in Kashmir is playing an important role in educating the entire country. He said that India used to import wood for pencils from abroad, but now Pulwama is making the country self-sufficient in the field of pencil making. Chinar wood of the valley has high moisture content and softness, which makes it most suitable for the manufacture of pencils. In Pulwama, Ukhu is known as the Pencil Village. Here, several manufacturing units of pencil slats are providing employment to hundreds, including a large number of women. Mr. Modi cited the example of Mansoor Ahmad Alai from Pulwama, who sold his ancestral land and established a unit to manufacture apple wooden boxes. Mansoor was engaged in a small business when he came to know that poplar wood, chinar wood, is being used in manufacturing pencils. Mansoor channeled his entrepreneurial spirit and started the supply of poplar wooden boxes to some famous pencil manufacturing units. Today, his turnover from this business is in crores and is a source of livelihood for around 200 people.
आज के डेट में 200 वर्कर है मेरे पास और नौजवानों को मैं ये मैसेज दे रहा हूँ, आप अपने पैरों पे खड़ा हो जाओ, सरकार की नौकरी के पीछे मत जाओ। प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने मेरा नाम लिया, मुझे रोना आ रहा है, भैया मैं कहाँ था, किसी एक टाइम में 2 रुपए के लिए हैरान था और आज के डेट में प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब ने मेरा नाम लिया, मुझे अभी आंसू आ रहा है।
Mr. Modi commended him and the enterprising people for making invaluable contribution in educating the young minds of the country.
Mr. Modi greeted the people on the auspicious occasion of Vijayadashmi or the Shahra. He said the festival of the Shahra is about triumph of truth over untruth, as also a victory of patience over crises.
मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, आज विजयादशमी यानी दशहरे का पर्व है। इस पावन अवसर पर आप सभी को ढेरों शुभकामनाएं। दशहरे का ये पर्व असत्य पर सत्य की जीत का पर्व है, लेकिन साथ ही ये एक तरह से संकटों पर धैर्य की जीत का पर्व भी है। आज आप सभी बहुत संयम के साथ जी रहे हैं, मर्यादा में रहकर पर्व त्योहार मना रहे हैं, इसलिए जो लड़ाई हम लड़ रहे हैं उसमें जीत भी सुनिश्चित है।
He asked people to exercise patience and observe restraint during this crisis-laden period of corona. He asked everyone to wear masks, keep washing hands with soap and maintain 2 yards of social distance while enjoying the festive season. The Prime Minister said one should remember the time of lockdown in the midst of this festive celebration. During this period, people realized how difficult it is without cleanliness workers, local vegetable sellers, milkmen and security guards. He urged everyone to include them in festivities as they must not only be remembered during difficult times.
लॉकडाउन में हमने समाज के उन साथियों को और करीब से जाना है जिनके बिना हमारा जीवन बहुत ही मुश्किल हो जाता। सफाई कर्मचारी, घर में काम करने वाले भाई बहन, लोकल सब्जी वाले, दूध वाले, सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स, इन सब का हमारे जीवन में क्या रोल है, हमने अब भली भांति महसूस किया है। कठिन समय में ये आपके साथ थे, हम सबके साथ थे। अब अपने पर्वों में, अपनी खुशियों में भी हमें इनको साथ रखना है।
Mr. Modi also asked people to remember the brave soldiers who are guarding country's borders and light a lamp in their honor. He assured soldiers that the entire country is wishing well for them even though they are away from home.
हमें अपने उन जाबाज सैनिकों को भी याद रखना है जो इन त्योहारों में भी सीमाओं पर डटे हैं, भारत माता की सेवा और सुरक्षा कर रहे हैं। हमें उनको याद करके ही अपने त्योहार मनाने हैं। हमें घर में एक दिया भारत माता के इन वीर बेटे बेटियों के सम्मान में भी जलाना है। मैं अपने वीर जवानों से भी कहना चाहता हूं कि आप भले ही सीमा पर हैं, लेकिन पूरा देश आपके साथ है, आपके लिए कामना कर रहा है। मैं उन परिवारों के त्याग को भी नमन करता हूं जिनके बेटे बेटियां आज सरहद पर है। हर वो व्यक्ति जो देश से जुड़ी किसी न किसी जिम्मेदारी की वजह से अपने घर पर नहीं है, अपने परिवार से दूर है, मैं हृदय से उसका आभार प्रकट करता हूं।
He saluted the sacrifice of the families whose children are at the border today. He expressed gratitude to each and every person who is away from home and family on account of discharging duty to the country in one way or the other.
Mr. Modi said many instances of technology-based service delivery were explored in the country during the lockdown. He cited the example of a self-help group of women in Jharkhand who accomplished this feat. These women worked to deliver vegetables and fruits to households directly from the fields of the farmers. They got an app, Ajivika Farm Fresh, designed through which people could directly order vegetables to be delivered at their homes. This idea of Ajivika Farm Fresh app is gaining a lot of popularity there. Fruits and vegetables worth more than 50 lakh rupees were delivered by them during the lockdown. The Prime Minister also mentioned Atul Patidar of Barbani in Madhya Pradesh, who connected 4,000 farmers in this area through the digital medium. Through the e-platform Farm Card of Atul Patidar, farmers are now able to get the essentials of agriculture such as fertilizers, seeds, pesticides and fungicides home delivered. Mr. Modi also recounted how a farmer-producer company in Maharashtra procured corn from the corn-producing harvesters. This time the company paid not just the cost of the corn but also an additional bonus as it was making profit from the new farm-specific laws framed by the government.
The Prime Minister spoke of Pon Mariyappan from Thoothukudi in Tamil Nadu, whose passion is to share the joys of reading and writing with the others. Pon Mariyappan is associated with the profession of hair cutting and runs a salon.
When the mini library was set up in the small salon in Thoothukudi, its owner Pon Mariyappan might have thought that it will catch the eyeballs of at least a few of his customers. But it has taken him to the Hall of Fame, as it has caught even the attention of the Prime Minister of the nation. The books on the salon shelves have enabled him to talk to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, something he can cherish in his whole lifetime. Mr. Mariyappan believes reading enlightens people and says he thought of encouraging it through incentives in the form of a cut in the fee for his services. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
He also cited a few examples of how people are sharing their passion of reading with others. Usha Dubey, a teacher from Singrauli in Madhya Pradesh, has turned a scooty into a mobile library. Mr. Modi talked about a self-help library set up in August at Rayo village in Nirjuli of Arunachal Pradesh. He said when Meena Gurung and Devang Husai from this village learned that there was no library in the area, they extended a hand for its funding. Anyone can borrow books for 2 weeks. In Chandigarh, Sandeep Kumar, who runs an NGO, has set up a mobile library in a minivan. Through this, poor children are given books to read free of cost. The Prime Minister said there are 2 organizations in Bhavnagar, Gujarat, which are doing marvelous work in this field. The Vikas Vartul Trust is very helpful to students who are preparing for competitive exams. This trust has been working since 1975 and provides 140 magazines along with 5,000 books. Pustak Parab is a similar organization which provides literary books along with other books free of cost. Mr. Modi urged people to share stories of such initiatives on social media. He also quoted a line from the Bhagavad Gita, Nahi Gyanen Sadrishyam Pavitramehe Vidyate, which means that there is nothing as sacred as knowledge in this world.
The Prime Minister says Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's birth anniversary will be celebrated on the 31st of October. This day is also known as National Unity Day. He said Sardar Patel had a great sense of humor. Mr. Modi asked people to keep their sense of humor alive irrespective of how difficult the situations are. He said Sardar Patel devoted his entire life for the unity of the country and integrated the Indian public with the freedom movement. Mr. Modi said Sardar Patel worked for the integration of the princely states with the nation. He said citizens should carry forward the entire spectrum of values that unite people through speech, bearing and actions. Driving home the message of unity in diversity, Mr. Modi said, pilgrimage in itself knits India into a common thread. The chain of Jyotirlingas and Shakti Pithas bind India with the common thread. The Prime Minister said that Sikh Gurus too have enriched the spirit of unity through their lives and noble deeds. The holy sites of Sikhs include Nanded Sahib and Patna Sahib Gurdwaras. He said the country had luminaries such as Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar in the last century who forged unity amongst people through the medium of the Constitution. The Prime Minister said that the country has given a befitting reply every time to the forces which continuously try to sow the seeds of suspicion in people's minds and divide the country. Giving the motto of Ek Bharat Shreshtha Bharat, Mr. Modi urged everyone to visit the website ekbharat.gov.in. Mr. Modi also said that he will attend many events on the 31st of October to be held in and around the historic Statue of Unity in Kevadia. Valmiki Jayanti will also be celebrated on the 31st of October. Mr. Modi paid his obeisance to Maharshi Valmiki, saying that he was a beacon of great hope for millions of the impoverished and Dalits. The Prime Minister also offered his tributes to former Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, whose death anniversary is on the 31st of October.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today asserted India wants the Indo-China border tension to end and peace preserved, but at the same time will not let anyone take even an inch of our land. Mr. Singh made these remarks after performing Shastra Puja at Sukna War Memorial in Darjeeling, West Bengal. Army Chief General Manoj Mukund Naravane was also present on the occasion. The Defence Minister said India is persistent on its goal of peace.
इस समय भारत और चीन की सीमा पर भी जो तनाव चल रहा है, भारत तो यह चाहता है कि यह तनाव समाप्त हो, शांति स्थापित हो। उद्देश्य हमारा यह है, लेकिन कभी-कभी कुछ ऐसी नापाक हरकतें होती रहती हैं, लेकिन मैं पूरी तरह से आश्वस्त हूं और आश्वस्त ही नहीं हूं, मुझे पूरा भरोसा भी है कि हमारे सेना के जवान किसी भी सूरत में अपने भारत की 1 इंच भी जमीन किसी दूसरे के हाथों में नहीं जाने देंगे।
Mr. Singh expressed confidence that the army will not let anyone take even an inch of the country's land. He also inspected a Tavor assault rifle at Sukna War Memorial. The Defence Minister said whatever happened at Indo-China border at Ladakh recently and the way our Jawans responded bravely, historians will write about the valor and courage of our Jawans in golden words.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges people to give priority to local products while shopping during this festive season. In his Mann Ki Baat, Prime Minister calls upon the youth to bring in innovations in indigenous sports. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India wants to end border tension with China peacefully, but at the same time will not let anyone take even an inch of our land. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 90%. President, Vice President and Prime Minister to greet the nation on the occasion of Dussehra. And in IPL cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore face Chennai Super Kings in Dubai, while Rajasthan Royals clash with Mumbai Indians at Sharjah. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
Health Minister Harshvardhan has expressed hope that COVID-19 vaccine will be made available in the country by January next year. Speaking at a program on DD News, Dr. Vardhan said that there are 3 vaccine candidates in India, out of which one is at the advanced stage of clinical trial of phase 3. Of the other 2 vaccine candidates which are in clinical trial of phase 2, one has recently entered the third trial phase. Dr. Vardhan also said if the preparations in this regard made so far progress well, then 400 to 500 million doses of the COVID vaccine will be available in the country before June and July of next year. Dr. Harshvardhan also appealed to the people to follow COVID-appropriate behavior to check the spread of virus in view of the coming festive season.
भारत में 30 वैक्सीन कैंडिडेट्स हैं। सारे दुनिया में 9 वैक्सीन कैंडिडेट्स एडवांस्ड ट्रायल्स में हैं, जिसमें से 3 भारत के एडवांस्ड स्टेजेस में हैं। एक तो क्लिनिकल फेज 3 के एडवांस्ड में है और 2 जो है फेज 2 के एडवांस्ड में थे, अब उसमें से भी एक फेज 3 में चला गया। तीनों के माध्यम से हमें उम्मीद है कि जनवरी के अंदर तो डेफिनेटली हमारे को वैक्सीन उपलब्ध हो जाएगी और हमने सारी जो तैयारियां जिस प्रकार से की हैं, इफ ऑल गोज वेल तो जून जुलाई से पहले हमें 400 से 500 मिलियन डोजेज उपलब्ध हो जाएंगी।
India has crossed a significant milestone in its fight against COVID as the recovery rate reached 90% yesterday. Over 70,78,000 patients have recovered from this highly infectious disease in the country so far. The active caseload of the country has also fallen below 8.5%. The total positive cases in the country today stand at 6,68,154, which comprises merely 8.49% of the total reported cases. With a high number of COVID patients recovering every day, along with a steadily falling and sustained low mortality rate, India's trend of decreasing active cases continues. The recovered cases are nearly 10.6 times more than the active cases. Nearly 62,000 patients recovered and were discharged in the last 24 hours, whereas the new confirmed cases reported in that same time span stood at around 50,000.
A total of 4,116 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection were reported in Delhi in the past 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to over 3,52,000. The Delhi government said that over 3,19,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 3,614 people recovered and 36 deaths were reported in the national capital, taking the total to 6,225. In Bihar, COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 94.36%. This is higher than the national rate. Infection rate in the state has also decreased to 2.1%, which is the lowest in the country. Active patients in the state are continuously decreasing. At present, 10,879 patients are undergoing treatment at various hospitals. 1,99,521 patients have so far recovered in the state. An average of over 1 lakh corona tests are being conducted every day. Mysuru district in Karnataka holds second spot in terms of COVID caseload after Bangalore urban district, with 10 days Dussehra festival posing the biggest challenge to the district administration. The Deputy Commissioner Rohini Sindhuri tells AIR News that concerted efforts were being made to bring down the case fatality rate and positivity rate in the district.
Positivity rate has been reduced from 20.7% to 7.8%. This has happened due to ramping up of testing. Every day the testing has been increased from 2,000, 2,500 to around 4,500 to 5,000. And the case fatality rate, which is the death per 100 patients, has reduced from 2.5% to 1.1%. This is important in the context that Mysore district has the highest case fatality rate amongst all the districts. So reducing this is an important issue for the district administration.
After a long break and continuous demand by the gym owners to allow them to open, gymnasiums in Maharashtra are finally back in business from today. The gym owners were continuously insisting on allowing them to open, but the Maharashtra government was not ready to start gym activities, considering the risk of spreading the COVID infection due to highest positivity rate in the state. But after improvement in the recovery rate and decline in cases, the state government has allowed the gyms to open from today. A report.
As the gymnasiums in Maharashtra are back on track from today, the gym owners as well as the gym users will have to follow the guidelines and adopt a new culture to keep their activities on and also to remain healthy and safe from the COVID infection. It is mandatory to wear a mask all the time in the gym and they will have to follow the respiratory etiquette strictly while coughing and sneezing. Group exercises and facilities like steam, sauna and shower are not allowed. Distance between the gym equipment should be at least 6 feet. Separate entry and exit routes should be available. There should be regular sanitization of gym equipment equipments and also the entry and exit points. Gym owners are also told to follow staggering of gym timings and limit the number of people per batch to maintain safe distance. Installation and use of Arogya Setu app is advised to all. Shailesh Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Telangana, 978 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported during the past 24 hours. With this, the total COVID cases in the state have gone up to 2,31,252. The state conducted over 27,000 tests yesterday. The recovery rate slightly improved to 91.01%, with 1,446 more people recovering yesterday. This took the number of recovered people so far in the state to 2,10,480. This is All India Radio giving you the news.
देखिए फिल्म जगत के कई मशहूर कलाकारों के साथ भगवान श्री राम के जन्म स्थान अयोध्या से रामलीला डीडी नेशनल पर लाइव 17 से 25 अक्टूबर रोज शाम 7 बजे से रात 10 बजे तक और इसका पुनः प्रसारण 18 से 26 अक्टूबर डीडी भारती पर सुबह 9 बजे से दोपहर 12 बजे तक और दोपहर 3 बजे से शाम 6 बजे तक डीडी नेशनल पर।
In Bihar, campaigners of all parties, including NDA and Grand Alliance, are making a last-ditch effort to woo voters as only 1 day is left for campaigning in the first phase of elections. Polling will be held on the 28th of this month in 71 assembly constituencies spread over 16 districts. In NDA, senior BJP leaders and star campaigners are holding election rallies. Union Minister Ashwini Kumar Chaubey addressed rallies in Shahpur and Brahmpur. BJP senior leader and former Chief Minister of Jharkhand, Raghubar Das, addressed a public meeting in Amarpur. More from our correspondent.
Senior RJD leader Tejasvi Prasad Yadav is holding back-to-back 9 public meetings today. Addressing a public meeting at Pakri Barawa in Nevada, Mr. Yadav claimed people of Bihar are fed up with present government and they will give a chance to the Grand Alliance. LJP President Chirag Paswan addressed a public meeting in Kargahar. He said people want an account of 5 years of rule of JDU. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar addressing rallies in poll-bound segments of Madhubani, Darbhanga and Muzaffarpur, which will go to the poll in the second phase. Dharmendra Kumar Rai, AIR News, Patna.
In Bihar, 3 people, including a candidate from Shiohar Assembly constituency, were shot dead while campaigning yesterday evening. Police said the incident took place around 7 p.m. in Hatsar village under Purnahiya police station area of Shiohar district. 10 unidentified assailants attacked the Janata Dal Rashtravadi candidate Sri Narayan Singh while campaigning for assembly polls.
The festival of Vijayadashmi or Dussehra is being celebrated across the country today. The festival is celebrated to remember Lord Ram's victory over Ravan, marking the triumph of good over evil. The day also marks the culmination of Navratri and Durga Puja. President Ramnath Kovind and Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu have greeted the people on the occasion. In a message, President Kovind said, the festival strengthens the cultural unity of India and inspires us to live in harmony, following the path of virtue and shunning evil. In his message, Vice President Venkaiah Naidu urged everyone to follow COVID-19 health protocols while celebrating Dussehra. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended greetings to the countrymen on the occasion of Mahanavami. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said on this auspicious occasion of Navratri, the 9th form of goddess Durga, Ma Siddhidatri, is worshipped. He said, may everyone get success in their work by the blessings of Ma Siddhidatri.
In IPL cricket today, there will be 2 matches. The first match between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Chennai Super Kings will begin at 3:30 p.m. in Dubai. The second match between Rajasthan Royals and Mumbai Indians will begin at 7:30 p.m. at Sharjah. Meanwhile, Kings 11 Punjab beat Sunrisers Hyderabad by 12 runs in Dubai last night. Batting first, Kings 11 Punjab set a total of 126 runs in 20 overs. Chasing the target, Sunrisers Hyderabad were all out for 114.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi will see a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 14 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 33 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will see a partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was 23 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 30 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, the temperature will hover between 11 and 29 degrees Celsius. The town will see partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Gilgit will see generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. And now before we end this bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges people to give priority to local products while shopping during the festive season. In his Mann Ki Baat, Prime Minister calls upon youth to bring in innovations in indigenous sports. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India wants to end border tension with China peacefully, but at the same time will not let anyone take even an inch of our land. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet the nation on the occasion of the Shera. And in IPL cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore face Chennai Super Kings in Dubai, while Rajasthan Royals clash with Mumbai Indians at Sharjah. And that is the end of this news bulletin.